Bitcoiners, pre-coiners, no coiners, new coiners, and of course, Swan Force members, welcome to Swan Lounge, a weekly show in which you get to hang out with the Swan team and some of our friends from the incredibly exciting world of Bitcoin. Now, as always, before we dive in, a little bit of housekeeping. We are giving away Jan Pritzker's book, Inventing Bitcoin, for free in an effort to spread Bitcoin knowledge. You can go to swanbitcoin.com/free book to claim your copy. We have it in 3 different ebook formats, as well as MP3, read by none other than our friend Guy Swann, who's on the show today. Very excited. You might know him from Bitcoin Audible. We'll get into that later. All we ask, by the way, is that you pay it forward. Share the book with as many friends and family as you'd like. Inventing Bitcoin is the book I send to literally everyone who is new to Bitcoin and looking to get started. It's short, it's easy to understand, and you can understanding not only how Bitcoin works, but why Bitcoin is so important. We also have the book available en español y puede descargar su copia en www.swanbitcoin.com. Man, I always screw up the Spanish. swanbitcoin.com/libro gratis. I'm going to work on my Spanish, folks. Even more exciting, we are giving away Gigi's incredible book, 21 Lessons. If you haven't read it yet, it is a must read. It is told in the form of, you guessed it, 21 lessons that Gigi learned while going down the rabbit hole. Get your free copy at swanbitcoin.com/21 lessons. All of these links that I've mentioned, by the way, are in the description below the video, so you can find them there. Some other goodies, as including a 5% off code for CryptoCloaks. We've got Rick from CryptoCloaks on today, so check that out. Before I move on, we got to ask, are you signed up for Swan Force yet? Because Swan Force is pretty awesome. I've earned a lot of sats through Swan Force. You can go to swanbitcoin.com/enlist. You sign up, you get a beautiful landing page that you can send to your friends and family. You'll earn 25% of Swan's fees on all their purchases for an entire year, and your referral will get $10 of free Bitcoin when they open an account with Swan. To anyone who is new to the show, welcome. This is Swan Lounge, as I mentioned, put on by Swan Bitcoin, which is quite simply the best way to accumulate Bitcoin with automatic recurring buys, instant buys, and wires up to $10 million. And we have a massive focus on education. You should check out our blog. We're going to be doing some really exciting updates to that in the near future. I can't really tell you about that yet, but stay tuned. Now, before I bring in our guests, one last thing, you know what I'm going to say, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Why? Because doing so helps us get seen on YouTube. It helps us cut through the clutter. It helps us grow the show so that we can reach more people and help them see why Bitcoin is so special. Now, today on Swan Lounge, we've got some guests that I'm super excited about. I've already mentioned 2 of them. We've got Guy Swann of Bitcoin Audible, the man who has read more about Bitcoin than anyone on the face of the earth. We might have Desiree Dickerson. She hasn't joined us yet. I'm hoping she will still join us. You probably know her from her work at Lightning Labs and from Mint Gox, so hopefully she joins us. We've got Rick from CryptoCloaks, which is an amazing company that's really grown over the last year, where you can buy all sorts of cool 3D printed things like custom node cases and hardware wallet cases, all sorts of Bitcoin goodies. And we've got KP, who you might know from Plebnet. He's been on the show before. If you don't know what Plebnet is, we are going to get into that. And we will also have Walton from Plebnet joining us a little later on. Okay, I'm tired of rambling. You're tired of listening to me. It's time for Swan Lounge. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? Oh, wait, you're muted, so apparently not doing that well. All right.
I'm not doing too bad.
I've granted you the power of voice.
I'm feeling bullish. I'm feeling pretty bullish. I mean, I'm basically always bullish, but
you're bullisher
I'm
today.
Feeling special bullish today, maybe.
How can you not this morning? Come on now.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually wake up. I always check the price, not because I really care about the short-term price, but just to kind of see, what the vibe is going to be like on Twitter and everywhere else. And it was a nice little morning. We're still holding, so we'll see. Let's make some predictions. Price by the end of the show. Guy, what do you got for me?
50,922.
Rick, what say you?
51.2.
51.2. Oh, all right. KP.
51.
Oh, what is this? Price is Right?
Yeah. 51,296.33. How's that?
There we go.
That's what KP does. Okay, he does that with his routing nodes. He undercuts you
real
just
hardcore math there.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to say 53,000. I'm going to say that, you know what? midway through the show, we are going to experience one of those epic green candles. It might even go higher than that. I don't really believe this, but we'll see. We'll see. So let's dive into the show. I called it Fully Noted because basically the idea for this show basically came about because I recently got my node up and running again, and Rick from CryptoCloaks helped me out by did someone just join? Oh no, sorry, nobody just joined. Still us. With a amazing custom node shell that I've been doing more customization on, and I'll share a bit of that later. And I wanted to talk about the importance of running a full node. But before that, Guy had a tweet just now that I saw that I want to get into. Guy, can you tell us a little bit about what prompted the tweet and explain why crypto folks sometimes mislead the general public when it comes to network metrics?
Network metrics are really hard. Because you're not seeing, the illusion is that the more that the base layer is used, the more adoption there is. And this is pretty common, mostly because, particularly in altcoin circles, because by like almost 90% of altcoins and shitcoins that have been created, like we're doing 2017, 2018, 2019, when the narrative was, oh, Bitcoin is too slow because of a small block size. So their brand for that whole season of altcoin and ICO bubbles were, we have more transactions per second and we are cheaper to use than Bitcoin. So this specific tweet that, and this happens like probably once a month, this goes across my feed of somebody just showing some other chain, generally Ethereum. And I think it's probably just because I mostly follow Ethereum people that bounce through my my feed here. But it was Evan Van Ness posted a daily transaction count from Coinmetrics and then compared Ethereum to Bitcoin. And Ethereum, like just going flatly by this chart, Ethereum has way more activity than Bitcoin does. It's like, well, because Ethereum has a huge block size and Bitcoin doesn't. So it's like, well, duh. Like even for periods of time, BSV has had higher volumes on chain because they got like 128 megabyte blocks or whatever it is, so they can spam their own traffic. And I'm not saying Ethereum is being spammed. There's a shit ton of token gambling happening on Ethereum, so yeah, it's probably real activity, but Bitcoin explicitly has a cap, and somebody like literally right now, like, and I said in the tweet, like, where's Lightning on this? And right. It's been buzzing like just while we've been sitting here, but these are like my Sphinx things. Like, people are sending me transactions, none of that shit shows up. Like, that's on a completely different network. So it's not a useful metric. It's just like saying, here's my block size and here's your block size. Ours is bigger. Ha ha ha. And it's like, we already knew that. That was kind of the whole point of the debate and the 2015, 2017 wars. We covered it, but you can keep pretending like it's new information. But Lightning has exploded. Swan. Lightning has exploded recently, and good or bad, we can't really see a whole lot of what's going on over there. Breeze, I think, posted a tweet last week that like per week or something, they're clearing like 100,000 transactions, something absolutely insane. And where's all that? That's the block size, for crying out loud. That's essentially, that's like what Bitcoin does. And that's just Breeze. That's just one node, like basically watching this amount of traffic. So yeah, it's just a useless metric. It works to have a chart and makes it look like Ethereum is better. And crypto people will buy the narrative. But if you look at volume settled, I think Ethereum daily volume, I think somebody actually posted a screenshot of it. Where is it?
Reminds me.
Ethereum daily value settled is $444 million, and Bitcoin's right now is 2.8 billion. So
still not much of a competition. There was a tweet yesterday.
I think that's more indicative of the truth.
Did you see the tweet from the guy who works at Fidelity yesterday? He was tweeting about how there are so many Ethereum addresses and using that as a metric. And there was somebody had a brilliant response, and it was basically like, how many of these so-called addresses have had the amount of Ethereum on them is less than it would cost to actually send them out of the address. And I thought that was just a brilliant comeback. Anyway, let's move on to full nodes, which are very easy to run in Bitcoin, very difficult to run on Ethereum. Let's talk about why someone should actually run a node, because there's a lot of Bitcoiners who are new and they hear us talking about, oh, run a node, run a node, run a node. But why should someone run a node when you open up your whatever wallet you're using and you see the amount of Bitcoin there? What is the benefit to running a node? I'd love to hear each of you kind of get into this, like why you personally run nodes and how it has improved your sort of Bitcoin experience overall. KP, do you want to take this one first?
Yeah, and just to quickly comment on the previous topic, it is pretty amazing that people just forget about the Lightning, and honestly, people just intentionally mislead with those charts. And I hadn't seen the tweet, but I just took a peek of that. Like, that chart is like so dishonest, where you have not understood what Lightning can do. And for the audience who may not be familiar with it, Lightning is basically a layer on top of Bitcoin, where you are sort of like transporting Bitcoin at the speed of light on a network, and each transaction is a final settlement. It is not as if like, I'm maybe not, and I can reverse it kind of a settlement. It is a final settlement. So if I sent actually, 10 sats or 21 sats to Guy Swann over here, it is done. It is settled. And that channel between the two of us.
You want to do that? You can send me 20.
Sure, we can do it. We have a channel between our nodes, for example. If it has, for example, 1 Bitcoin on that channel, it can go back and forth infinite number of times, and it will transport a value infinite times 1 Bitcoin, which is there on that particular channel. These concepts are not that, it is not that hard, but people just don't take that time to understand. And that is what is happening on Lightning, is that it has exploded. And before I get into why Node, this thing, Brecky, let me give you some statistics here, okay? Plebnet, this is just like, one part of the whole Lightning universe. But I think it is about, 5 or to 7% of the entire Lightning network at this point of time. There are 3,600 plebs in the Plebnet. They're running 684 nodes. And I got the stats just before I was coming in here. On those nodes, there are 645 Bitcoins. And an average of each node is about 94 million Satoshis a node. Now, if I look at my node, for example, it's buzzing. It's like, Guy, you showed, the Sphinx chat, tips coming in or payments coming in. I can see the routing happening on my node, and it is almost the amount of, transactions is probably about 5 to 10 times the amount of outbound which I would have on a node. And it is typical. If you have a decent size of node, that's what is happening. So for anyone to miss out on that piece of information and not see a hockey stick go up in terms of a Lightning adoption is being completely dishonest about the whole discussion. And actually, the beauty of this thing is that you don't even have to care, because guess what? We've got a very rock solid monetary network, okay? A store of value. And I keep saying this, when you have Bitcoin, they fly. And if it flies on the Lightning network, magic happens. And that's exactly what attracted me to Lightning. And to your point, why you should run Lightning Node, why I ran Lightning Node is, first of all, be in front of this technology, which is going places. And it is going to be the future of payments for a really solid, store of value monetary policy. So I want to understand that. The way I learn is I get together, organize people, and we learn together. Brecky knows the craziness, right? We do all sorts of craziness in our Plebnet, but we learn. Like, there are folks who have done like a deep dive on that. So why you should run Node? You want to actually learn the technology, use the Bitcoin and the Lightning Network for future. That's number one. The other one is self-sovereignty. If you make a transaction, you don't have to go look up your transaction on somebody else's server. You've got your own Raspberry Pi or any other setup. You can look up your own transaction on your own node. Now, it gives you privacy. It gives you sort of like, how I like to think about it is not your node, not your rules. You don't know if you're using somebody else's node. You don't know what rules they're running. When you're running your node, you exactly know what rules you're running. That is your rule. And actually, you can confirm that. So, those are the things which actually instigated me to get into Lightning. And, folks, that's why you should be running a node. And then the other one more last point is you don't really have to run a node to experience Lightning. You can just download a Breeze wallet or, Zebedee or, your Blue wallet or any one of those wallets, and you can start using Lightning. They do the Lightning magic behind you. They will transport the Bitcoins. Okay. It's not any other derivative coin or any other, so-called coin. It is a Bitcoin. It is the final settlement. It'll happen on a currency or a system, which is a tremendous monetary value here.
Well, show's over, folks. KP just went through my entire outline.
How are you supposed to follow that up? Jeez.
I get
no, we got more than that. Don't worry.
Yeah, I get really charged up when those charts are thrown around with so much of deception.
Welcome to Walton, by the way, who's just joining us. Yes, Guy.
Hey guys, I just wanted to add. I've been recently just added Phoenix to my whole page. I've almost filled up a whole page on my iPhone of just Lightning and like wallets. But Phoenix has been pretty awesome recently too. That one just recently came to iOS. But yeah, Breeze, Phoenix, and Moon have been my favorite for a while.
I need to get on the Moon train. I think I have it downloaded. I need to set it up. Phoenix also, I've heard great things. So got a weekend project for me, I think. Walton, how are you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. Why are you late? Huh?
Hey,
Can't be on time? Something more important to do?
Time is a strange construct, to be honest.
It's one of those shows. Okay, all right. We're getting
subjective. It's very subjective.
Apologies.
Well, since you're just joining, Walton, why do you run a node, buddy? Why do you think it's important for everyone?
Running a node is the final step to sovereignty as an individual, because it enables you to verify your own transactions, and in the case of a Lightning node, to process your own transactions or for transactions for others, and so you're contributing to the network, but you're also enabling so much more for yourself when it comes to how you use your Bitcoin and how you verify your Bitcoin.
So let me ask you this then, and this might be a touchy subject, but should everyone run a node? Should everyone who holds Bitcoin run a node?
Yes.
There are Bitcoiners on Twitter who are like, yes, 100%.
When they are ready, and Plebnet is there to help anyone from whatever background, from whatever level of technical understanding they're at, to be able to run a node. In time, if you would like to run a node, it is possible. You just need to have a little bit of commitment, and a little bit of time, a little bit of patience.
Definitely. So to that end, then maybe we can kind of give us some recommendations other than just Plebnet. I know Plebnet's amazing, but like, what do you think about like running Bitcoin Core or running Umbrel versus Raspiblitz? Like, I know everyone has kind of a different opinions on these things. I'm running a couple of nodes now. If anyone has any direct recommendations, go for it.
So when it comes to running just Bitcoin Core, I think it's only really useful if you're actually verifying your own transactions. So, checking them on your own mempool, etc. If Otherwise, you're not it doesn't really give you any benefit. Running a Lightning node, however, gives you a lot of freedom.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think though that like the importance of even just running a Bitcoin node without Lightning, shouldn't be, diminished, right? Like, how many times do we talk about, the money not being yours when it's in a bank, right? And if you don't run your own node, you don't actually know whether the money is yours or not. You're still trusting someone. So,
right, it's like not your nodes, not your node, not your rules, right? Like, so yeah, you can run Bitcoin only if you wanted to, and to your question on what is the recommendation for, honestly speaking, everybody has the same goal of simplifying this for all the plebs and common people to run the node. Do a quick scan of what gives you the comfort for how you are actually wanting to run a particular node, and you should be able to pick up either one of the implementations which are out there. There are so many of them, and they are all fantastic. And the support which is available from the community is amazing. That's the reason, actually, we basically started the whole Plebnet thing. Is, guess what? People may not know how to run a node, and hey, we were learning. So hence we started basically this whole group, and now we help each other in running the nodes. So I don't believe there is any direct recommendation. You can make up your own assessment for your own need.
Yeah, I would say there's really no right way. There's so many options out there now compared to where it used to be. I mean, when we first started with Lightning, it was Raspiblitz, and I tried doing that whole deal, and I failed. I failed trying to set up a Raspiblitz node, and then you had to and then I found Raspiblitz, and that's where I was finally successful on building.
Walton, is that a newspaper clipping? What is that? I know what you're shilling over there, and I approve. Are you muted?
He's muted. Yeah, he's muted.
Walton, what's going on?
Sorry, guys, this is an original Plebnet meme.
Original Plebnet.
Where can I buy the NFT? I'm only interested in NFT.
You can't buy an NFT because NFTs are stupid. So we're not going to do them, are we? Let's be honest.
I love when a British person admonishes you. You just you feel awful, but you feel like they care at the same time. We're not going to do this, are we? No, we're not.
Exactly.
I would like to very politely disagree with you here.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, so
you can't be pro NFTs, can you, Guy?
Do what? No. Nope. I get an NFT every time I download an app from my computer. They put digital signatures down at the bottom of the page so that you can verify them. And you can shot some right in the terminal, baby. I got digital signatures all day. I get them for free.
I'll say this. I think I'm not totally opposed to NFTs. I just think that the marketing around them is incredibly misleading. Like, if people understood what they were buying, I would be more okay, and maybe within certain, I don't know. They don't need to exist 100%. There's no need for them. But anyway, this is not an NFT show.
I'll say one thing on them. They're digital signatures, right? Like that is all an NFT is. Now, people pay for signatures from celebrities all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, there is a market for collectibles. Of course, there's going to be a market for digital collectibles. Right now, I think it's 99% bullshit. Like, it's garbage, and people are buying something that they don't understand. And after the hype dies down, it'll be like ICOs. 3 years from now, we'll look back on it. Who's heard about a new ICO recently? ICO was in the news every single day. It was everything on Twitter for like 2 years. And there'll still be really good baseball cards in the future, and there'll probably still be some really high valued NFTs from some dude who signed 2 things and he was really popular for some reason, and then he never signed another NFT or whatever again. Sure, there's some sort of market there. No, it is not a $20 billion market, and ain't nobody gonna be buying an NFT of a JPEG of a rock in 3 years unless they just really, really want to lose some Bitcoin.
What are you talking about? Pet rocks are still very popular in the real world right now.
I've got a couple in my backyard if you want them. You can buy them from me.
I just need to remind everyone that DeFi stands for degenerate finance. Please be warned.
All right, we're going off the rails a little bit, and we're going off the rails. Let's move it on back. Running a Bitcoin node, I'll just say that for me, I don't really feel like a Bitcoiner without a node. My node was down for like a month. I was troubleshooting. Everyone was helping me. And finally I got it back up. And I felt like half a Bitcoiner. I felt like, not like half, I only have half a Bitcoin, but like half a person, right? And when it was finally up, I had this like sense of, this calm that like, oh, the Bitcoin I have, I know that I actually have it, for among other reasons why it was important. And to kind of make myself feel better about my node being down for so long, I hit up Rick from CryptoCloaks because I thought it was finally time that I had a custom case. And let me ask you this. I mean, I think I want to write something about this, but I had this thought that, Bitcoin, I think, is one of humankind's greatest accomplishments, greatest inventions ever. And when I see an ugly node case, or just a Raspberry Pi sitting on a table, it bothers me because something of this magnitude, of this importance, should be housed in something gorgeous, beautiful, like a work of art. Like I'm still trying to put a node in some artwork that I'm working on, and I think that this is kind of important, but it also it adds a layer of fun to running a node. So, like, Rick, I'd love to hear from you. Like, tell us about CryptoCloaks. Maybe even give us the full story. Like, how did it start? Like, what are the trends that you're seeing? What are some new products that the market has demanded and you've worked on? And what's coming up? What's
man, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on. I think Bitcoin nodes are more than just a Raspberry Pi sitting there. I honestly look at it as a piece of art, and that's what I've really tried to do over the past year and a half with the entire team is look at nodes as a piece of art and really make them personal. I always say Bitcoin is personal. It 100% is. It starts at the node, right? It's your copy of the blockchain. You make the rules. It's personal. It's you. And so your Bitcoin node should look how you want it. It should be a standout piece. Everybody wants to hide there sometimes, which I get 100%. But I look at it as I was talking on Plebnet a couple of weeks ago. I say, I want it to be a kind of a focal point where somebody walks in and goes, what the hell is that? And that is like their journey that starts them down the rabbit hole. Because you have this talking piece. You can go, oh, well, that's a Bitcoin node. And they go, well, what the hell is that? And you go, well, just wait. Here we go. Are you ready? Do you have some time?
Yeah.
So I think that's a really important part. And that's what I love to do. And I love watching what the community is really doing with Bitcoin nodes, not just what I'm doing. A lot of people are also doing designs. And it's awesome to see.
Brecky's custom one, right? This is Brecky's custom one you did for him.
This is my custom node. Rick provided the canvas, and then I didn't do too much different than what most people do. I added the fans, and then I did some sleeving of the wires, and I figured out how to get the screen for the Raspiblitz to show up. But much better than the Raspberry Pi that was sitting on my table for months on end.
But I look at that and I go, that's an art. That's like a piece of art, right? If somebody came in your house and they saw that on your desk, they'd be like, well, what the hell is that? And that's just like a talking point. And that's how I've kind of turned my focus on is I really want Bitcoin nodes to be that gateway or rabbit hole for somebody else to go down and learn about Bitcoin. Cause I think that's really important. And I think the more people that run their own Bitcoin node, that's how we can help like energize it and get it going even faster.
100%.
Because I look at what everybody's building and it's insane. Like you with your node, and then there's a couple other ones that I've seen in the past couple of days, and it's like, holy shit, you guys are blowing my mind on even what I thought was imaginable on these, and you guys are taking them to the next level. And I really love it.
We need to see the water cooled one come to fruition. Sorry, one last.
I got a block ordered.
Are we just like Bitcoin nerds though? Like I think like a beautiful node is like a piece of artwork, but is that just because we love Bitcoin? Like,
so I kind of do the opposite. I actually have just like a really boring.
Did he just mute himself?
I think you just muted yourself.
I just have like it's like all black, just like a small case, and then there's the external hard drive enclosure.
And that's cool too.
That's it. Like, but like
Yeah.
I should upgrade to one of Rick's things, but like they want like $200 in postage for the stuff that I want, and so I'm
what did I say earlier?
Next year,
I know. I have to send it
about-
express because otherwise it gets lost. It's insane right now.
Rick,
It's
you got to
crazy.
find a 3D printing partner over in the UK or in Europe.
Already working on it.
Yeah.
I got one in Europe. We'll ship out of Germany, and metal cases I'll get shipped. Well, I'm working on it quick.
Yeah. So hey, here is the
I
thing.
want that new Triton.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Those nodes, like the beautiful. Those, we talked about this, Rick, the other day on Clubhouse, right? Like fantastic. And I think the demand everywhere and everybody caring about their node and running the node. But here's the thing, Brecky, your node is not down for a month. It feels like it was for 6 months. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It was
all
like
right?
2 weeks.
I'm
Wasn't
sorry.
it? Was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks.
and having a beautiful node case, you got to keep that thing running. Okay.
I know. Well, now I've got the beautiful case, and according to legend, a Triton case will make your node run faster and route more payments. True or false, Rick? Is this true?
Yeah,
It
That's
adds 50
absolutely true.
horsepower. It adds at
There
least
you
50
go.
horsepower. For real. On the point of
Yeah.
everybody running nodes, like art or not, like I'm as enough of a disciple, I guess you could say, that like I want mine to be an art piece. I really want to do. I want to do that. I want something that like looks cool. That is a talking point. That is something beautiful in the studio that I'm trying to set up right now for Bitcoin Audible. But just in the context of, does everybody run a node? Like, what is a node from the perspective of the user? Is, I think and would like to see a future where nodes are treated like routers. That
100%.
It's our connection. It's our personal bank. And,
It's just the
and
money bit of the
families
router, right?
share the fact that like with BTC Pay and LN Bits and like these other things that you can have easy, like simple sub accounts that are, sub public keys to like what's going on. I don't see that as being like, that's not even far-fetched to me. Like, I feel like that's kind of where we're already starting to touch on to the people who are really, I guess, sub first tier Bitcoiners are starting to branch into that. Like people who are just interested in Lightning are like, okay, I'm going to run a node now. And I would like to see it that every household has a node, and that the node is essentially a digital vault. It's a digital security box that connects you to the world of internet finance, of money in the digital realm. And it's where we run our own services. It's where we manage our keys. It's where we set up our own little corner of our the global payment network, et cetera, et cetera. And most of it's automatic, and everybody has one because ain't nobody wants, somebody else to steal their money.
So we've got a comment in the chat that I think is important to bring up. It's making me laugh, and I half agree with him. Win some hacks. Let's read this. I know this sounds like a spoil sport, but pimping out cases isn't the way. Normies don't want an LED festooned horror in their front room. We can find another way to get them onto Bitcoin.
Dude, I look at it as like PC gaming, right?
Think OPSEC.
I think it completely like PC gaming. Everybody's not going to run a tricked out node, just like nobody or not everybody runs a gaming rig with full RGB. Don't get me wrong.
I agree. I think it's something fun for those who really love it and want to do it and view it that way. But like I was saying, like, I think we are going to see nodes that are just incorporated into the tech stack, in a wide ranging ways, and you won't even think about it. Or like you'll be able to spin up nodes in the cloud, and you can already do that, right? And so it's just a matter of what is the node being used for, and yeah.
I do see to Guy, your point. One thing I do see is in future, it is going to get sort of like built into some of these, router or a cable box or something like that, and easy to operate, and you won't even know about it. Like for example, like 5-7 years back, installing a cable box, like you had to get somebody to set up a wireless router and all of those things. I do see that it is going to get abstracted away the complexity of it, and it'll be just another thing, and you'll be running it. The other thing is you really don't. You can, these mobile wallets are getting so sophisticated now that they will run the Lightning nodes on your behalf on your mobile phones. And there is a custodial element to it in some of them not. But eventually you will decide, which one you want to use for what purposes. And the most important thing is it is going to get blended into your daily life, which is where it is going, with things like, Lightning addresses, making it simple for people to actually send payments. You don't even have to whip out your phone to do a scan of a QR code. You're sort of like an email address. Basically, I can say, hey, Guy Swann at guyswann.com. The money, the Satoshis fly from my wallet to your wallet. That kind of a thing is going to get very simple. And and it is happening at a very, very rapid pace. Yeah, it is fascinating. It is happening very rapidly.
So I'd love to move on to more focus on Lightning itself. But before we do, somebody in one of the chats, not the YouTube chat, was asking the startup costs for running a node. And if you're still listening, I would go to getumbrel.com. They've got a shopping list right there, and you don't have to use Umbrel, but that'll kind of give you an idea of what it costs to run a node. You can run a node for under $100, $200 if you scavenge parts and things like that.
I'd say $200.
Yeah, $200. You can get the whole thing, and you can set it up in less than an hour, honestly.
I mean, you can run one off on
together.
Raspberry Pi 3 if you
if
really
that,
want
half an hour, maybe half an hour. Like, you just got to put the, if you take the Raspberry Pi, you've got to put some heat sinks on it. You've got to put it into its case. You've got to, put the fan on, and then connect it to a hard drive, put an SD card in it that you flashed from your computer, and that's it.
That's about it. Yeah, I think even recording video for it, which makes everything slow. I think it really only took me like 45 minutes. I still haven't made a video out of it, but it was not hard. And as someone who, I built custom computers in high school or whatever, like you just get all the pieces, put it together. This was not difficult. It's just not a complicated project. It might seem unfamiliar to
you can assemble one in 10 minutes
before.
Were you a Counter-Strike player?
It's like F1 racing.
Yeah.
I give this example, if you may allow me, is there are two doctors in Plebnet, and they had nothing to do with any technical stuff. Like, they don't even know what is command line before they started their node. And guess what? They're running a node. They're not running one node. They wanted to have two, one for each. And they're running beautiful node. They take care of it. And guess what? They have figured out all of the nuances of bare minimum required to run the node efficiently, and then focus on, whatever you do. So that's a great example. And there are many examples like that in Plebnet where we have just helped each other. And even if you are intimidated by technology part of it, forget about it. Jump on it. There are people who are going to help. And, you will be running a node. Next thing you know, you'll be talking about, all the fee strategy and all of those, things which we do all the day on that Plebnet.
And in Plebnet, it's not just, helping you to set up your node. Plebnet is the best place if your node breaks and you need some help. There's someone who really can help you get it up and going. KP's helped me before. His name is KP. Richard helped me today. KP's the best. But no, Richard out there as well. Hello, Jessica. Is the one of the best.
One thing to note, though, is if you do want to run a routing node, the cost of doing that is, I think, significantly higher, right? To run a node costs the hardware, but if you want to, you want to add liquidity to the network,
you can do it by changing fees alone. I don't think you need to rebound.
No, but I'm saying you still have to open channels. You have to devote capital to those channels.
You got to dump 1 million sats at least.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. You'll have to, but the notion.
But a few hundred sats though, if you do it, while fees are still cheap.
Yeah, there's one notion that if I have bigger node, then it is better. I totally disagree. There are so many great examples within Plebnet nodes. These are medium-sized nodes. They are run efficiently. There is at least a couple I know, and they have a boss score, which is the topmost score you can get in Lightning about a Lightning node. So don't get intimidated by I need a whole lot of sats. No, you learn technology. You will learn to run transactions on your own node. You'll be able to verify, and you will be able to technology and adoption of this technology for everyday use.
100%. Slim Don in the chat, join Plebnet. If you're having trouble, join Plebnet. Ask your questions. I promise people will help. So again, plebnet.org or kycjelly.com.
To join Plebnet, all you need to do is go to kycjelly.com. That's kycjelly.com.
Jesus Christ.
Plebnet, the best net for all the plebs.
Yeah. All right, let's.
Best mirth
We needed
and
your
the best
voice.
girth.
On your side.
Let's talk Lightning a little bit more. I'd love to hear kind of what's exciting everyone these days. And maybe we can
Lightning address. Come on, like we need to talk more about Lightning address. KP
All right.
touched on it before, but
Dalton, tell us about it. What
I
is
think it's
this?
going to revolutionize it. So there's about 5 wallets already that have enabled this new technology, and essentially what it does, I believe it uses Bolt 12, although KP I'm sure will correct me if I'm wrong on that. But essentially it enables you to send money in the same way that you might send an email. So instead of having to know someone's address or something, or have some invoice to pay, you just send it to, for example, Shukla at zbd.gg, for example. There's about 5, I think. So Zebedee is one of these companies that have it. I think there's a new one on Telegram. KP, please take over from here.
Yeah, LNTX bot, and I think there is a tip bot. I was just playing around with this today. There is, I think Blue Wallet is going to implement that. So there are 4 or 5 of these wallets which is going to implement it. But the simplest, like it is getting simplified, and it is getting embedded in the basically internet protocol, so to say. At some point of time, it will get there. So in the internet stack, when you have these kinds of simplicity of exchanging this monetary value, it's great. The other one actually pretty exciting, which is offers, which is a proposal out there on Bolts 12, and I hope it gets adopted by everybody, gets implemented, and that's going to be a game changer. It's like you have one address, and then you can reuse it, and you can actually make an offer, and from your wallet, which supports those offers, you will be able to subscribe to. So if I subscribe to, Brecky or, Guy Swann, your stuff, I can control it. Like, for credit card right now, if I actually sign up, I'll have to actually, it is like a pull mechanism from there, and I'll have to remember to call them to cancel it, try canceling a magazine subscription, right? But in this case, what is going to happen is you will have all the subscription on your wallet. You can ratchet it up, you can slow it down, you can cancel it, you can stop it, start it, and gives you a full control of all your subscription onto your own wallet.
And if you combine that with LSATs,
Guy, what are LSATs for those who don't know what LSATs are?
An LSAT is really just kind of a fancy receipt that is specific to, it's just proof of you, like that you specifically paid for something. Except that I think, if I'm not mistaken, generally LSATs are actually you can actually exchange them. I don't remember. There's a couple of different ideas of this exact sort of concept. But it's basically a ticket, in a sense that you have a receipt that you paid for a thing. But what KP was just saying, this is the thing about offers, is that right now I don't even know. I have so many disparate subscriptions and things that I've signed up for. It would take me hours to go find all the different things that I'm signed up for. And if I've got a yearly subscription, I might forget until it comes around, and suddenly I got $120 snagged out of my account. And I'm like, son of a bitch. How did I let this go again? And that's exactly offers, and just the idea of a push system where your wallet just manages who you pay monthly, and you just go to a place in your wallet and there's everything that your wallet is paying for. And you don't go back to the service and sign in and go through there. Why did you cancel my service page? And like, wait 3 days for this processing. Like, no bullshit. Stop signing. Stop. Just cut it off. It's my money. I'm not going to wait 3 days for you to stop taking it from me. That's insane. And
I shouldn't have to pass 4 comprehension tests in order to cancel my.
Before I forget, by the way,
money.
Walton, I think we need a Plebnet magazine. I think it needs to happen. A monthly or quarterly magazine.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Behind a lightning paywall.
With a subscription, only with credit card, so that you can never cancel it.
Jesus.
Yeah, but the other thing though is like if you see streaming Satoshi's model, right? Like for podcast and everything else, you blend that and merge it with offers. Okay, you have a business model coming in Satoshi payments for all sorts of stuff, right? You could be actually making payments for your car insurance in the future, where you are pay per mile, you are streaming sats when you are driving. When you are not driving, you are not paying for it. Or these are the models which are going to come in the future, which we haven't even thought about actually. It is just starting, and these are the fantastic developments in just recent past.
It's exciting times, and we've got El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender on the 6th, coming up soon. I wonder,
7th, right?
Are we going to see a massive rise in Lightning usage? I mean, they're already using Lightning, I think, quite a bit.
Well, I think we have been seeing it. Like, I mean, look at the channel openings and like the node counts in the last 3 months. It's like, it's crazy. Like, just huge growth on Lightning right now.
Look at how low on-chain fees have been for the last 2 months.
Say that again.
Yeah, I don't think Lightning is an insignificant part of that. I think that's part of the story.
Look at how low on-chain fees have been for the last 2 months, and I think it's
people want to dump
obviously it's there has been maybe less kind of activity of on the on-chain markets, but I think there has also been some that has taken place on Lightning instead of on-chain.
I was gonna say there's no better chance to open up a node right now in channels. Can't beat it. It's cheap. It's real cheap right now.
I opened so many at one sat per VByte.
It's a real shame that KP and Walton can't open a channel with me because their funds are still locked up.
Yeah.
No, I'm back.
You know the true story why, which Walton and I know, and we have exchanged messages. We are not sure your node actually
is going to make it.
I'm just kidding. It's like, you know what?
Node
stay away
make
from
it.
Brecky. Let's watch him for some time, and then we'll open a channel with Brecky.
I'll tell you this: there were times
get
when
that score up a little bit, right?
Yeah, I know. He single-handedly, his node brought up like everybody's terminal web score, like completely down. We're just teasing you, Brecky. We were waiting for your node to show up.
I know. Me too. It's good to be back.
This is the Bitcoiners version of like dick measuring. It's like your node is so offline so much.
I love it.
Look, you only have like 2 channels.
Can you not keep it up? Can you not keep your node up? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Look, guys, this is a family-friendly show. Okay, let's keep it to.
Your node's so limp.
The funniest part though is I would always update the Plebnet folks about my node as I was trying to fix it, and I would send a message like, I think it's working. I think I'm back in business. And right as I send that message, my node fails every time. I don't know why, but it was always when I would send the update. It was just Murphy's Law. It was terrible, but knock on wood. I think we're good. Wait, hold on. Let me check my note. Yep, we're still good. We're good. All right, we're coming up towards the end of the hour. Before we close out, though, I'd love to kind of get into a little bit more of the technical stuff on running a routing node, and the landscape of running a routing node, I feel like, is constantly changing. So maybe KP and Walton, like, what have you noticed recently in terms of fees, and how have you rethought your strategies and running a node in light of the past few months' experience?
Walton, you go first.
I think there's not necessarily a right amount to adjust things on your node. It's a careful balance of maintenance, but not. You can't overdo it. If you overdo it, you break things, or it causes you to not be meeting the strategy that you're trying to achieve. So if you, for example, if you change fees too often, that makes you look like an unreliable node to the network, and that will decrease your chances of routing payments. But also things like uptime, really affect that.
Right.
So those are kind of the kind of two major things to focus on.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, I think one other thing is keeping your node, up and running. That's the first thing. And this, of course, the amount of liquidity that you want to put in. I always say that choose the neighbors, connected the channels very, very carefully, because and everybody runs their nodes in their own way. There is their own philosophy and approach and so on. Mine is that I'm going to select a channel very carefully. When I open a channel, it's going to stay there forever till actually something happens where some problem and the channel was closed. But I'm not going to. So that's why I make it a point to actually do a lot of research before I open a channel with somebody. And then, so that's one. And the other one is when we started Plebnet, there are a lot of nodes or, newcomers joining. They needed to open channels. And guess what? Then, I've never refused anybody of saying, hey, I want to open a channel with you. You go ahead and open. In terms of a strategy, I think one thing which I have learned is that I don't know is a good answer. And honestly, not a lot of people who know what they are talking about, okay? So there is not a single expert out there who you can go and say, hey, what is the best way to run your node? Not a simple answer. What is good, what is available to you is experiment on different approaches. And people in Plebnet, they know that I've done like some crazy experiments just to see what are the edges and the boundaries, right? Like I set up a fee for a week, which was $499 base fee fixed. Okay. And I was told like, hey, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to test that what is going to happen. I have a theory about it, what will happen, but it gave me a lot of data point and I know exactly what was happening and why it was happening. I have a separate experiment for fees, basically, 1 week, I collect the data. Then I have another one, I collect the data. And over a period of time, I will be able to figure out, okay, what is an optimal thing in terms of a size and fee for your own node. However, in the middle of all of this, I think you have to keep in perspective is that it is just growing. And there are a lot of other newcomers into it. They need help. And if they need help in opening channel, anything else, we all jump in and we try to say, no worries, my experiment can wait. You want to open channel, we'll do the rebalancing, and we will open a dual funded channel if the funding is available, and so on and so forth. So there is not a straightforward answer to that question, but I insist on your own experiment actually a little bit. There are a lot of tools, great tools within Plebnet. There are folks who have developed a lot of tools for node management, and everybody should check it out and try it out.
Yeah, it's definitely an iterative process.
I'd just like to mention UPSs for Lightning nodes are super important, and more people need to use them.
Yeah.
Should my router be plugged into the UPS or no?
I do.
My
run
router
everything
is
off
plugged
of
to
it.
UPS.
Those are the things that I have. I have on the power backup, I have modem, router. I mean, depending on how big your power outage area is, it might not matter, because if your local ISP hub goes out, and then those are basically district size, like neighborhood sort of sized, large subdivision essentially. So if that goes out of power, you're not gonna have a connection anyway. But still, you don't want your node itself signing in the middle of a power outage, because at least even if your internet goes out, you'll sign, push, won't get a connection, and it will just drop it or expire or whatever. You don't want a hard drive failure. You don't want a write to the drive failure when the power goes out. So put that at least on a power backup.
Yeah. That's UPS. Great point, Rick.
Love it. All right, gents. I think that's it for today. Any closing words for the plebs, for the Swans?
Yeah. So I believe on I want to say the 6th of September.
7th.
7th. Sorry, on the 7th of September, El Salvador will
No, the
have
6th.
essentially.
Isn't it the 6th?
Everybody's buying $30 on the 7th, unless
Okay.
that's all of a sudden
On the
changed.
7th, on the 7th of September, everyone is going to be buying Bitcoin.
$30.
And, we're going to be celebrating El Salvador making it their currency. And I'd like to shout out Meme Pool, who are making some excellent content. Shout out those guys. Yeah. Isn't it a fantastic thing? El Salvador leading the way. Keep it up, guys.
Could listen to Walton talk all day long. All right, everybody. I'll do some quick shout outs for all the folks here. Go listen and subscribe to Bitcoin Audible. Listen to Guy. You hear that beautiful Southern twang. It just makes you think of mint juleps and Southern comfort while you listen to. Sorry,
You
Guy.
are welcome.
While you listen and learn about Bitcoin, it's amazing. One of my favorite resources, bitcoinaudible.com. Go to CryptoCloaks.com. Use code SWAN to get 5% off your new amazing custom node case or any other goodies. Go to plebnet.org or kycjelly.com. Join Plebnet. You can find all this stuff in the description below the video. You can find the Twitter links to follow all these amazing folks and to ask them questions about Bitcoin or whatever you like. Also, a few housekeeping things for Swan. Go sign up for Swan. You know where to do it. SwanBitcoin.com. SwanBitcoin.com/Guy if you want. You'll get $10 of free Bitcoin. Also, on Tuesday, on the 7th, there's something else that's going to be happening. I can't tell you what it is, but Swan is going to be launching a campaign. So please get ready. Please participate when you see it. I've been working on this along with a bunch of other people at Swan for a very long time. We're really, really excited about it. We think it's going to be pretty big. So stay tuned for that. And I think that's it. I'm just rambling because I like to ramble. Yeah. Enjoy your weekends, everybody. Go run a node. Go buy some Bitcoin. Go listen to Bitcoin Audible. Go order something from CryptoCloaks. Join Plebnet, and we'll see you all next time.
Come to TabConf. Come to Bitcoin in Miami next year. Contact me for discounts on tickets. Shh.
You shall. All right, everybody.
All right, that's fun.
All right. Thanks for joining,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody.
Thanks to everybody in the chat, and we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.